Hey, this is me again coming at you with another important topic. This is about domestic violence and being a murder victim. Okay, this is really directed at the women. You know, a lot of times when I speak, I don't really cover a woman's perspective. I can never speak from a woman's perspective because I'm a man, but can I relate? And this topic is one of those topics where I can actually relate because um, my mother was in a very abusive relationship for a long time. And she was actually, in many ways, the victim of domestic violence. But the difference between my mother and many other women is that she's a fighter, and so she fought her way out of it. She refused to be a victim, a statistic, right? And she had a strong motivational factor because at that time she had kids. Okay, she had children that she loved, and she wanted to see them have a bright future. And she know that the decisions that she made would affect them. So I witnessed this on numerous occasions. But this is really directed at the women who, not all women are fighters. So it's a lot harder for a woman who's not a fighter to stand up and defend herself from being attacked or being abused, physically or verbally, right? As a human being, we all have the right to be respected and treated with respect. And, when that line is crossed, you demand your respect. And you hope that once you demand your respect, that respect is given. So we know respect is a mutual thing between two human beings, male, female, whatever gender you are, it doesn't matter. Respect is respect. But the thing with domestic violence is that when domestic violence has taken place, that respect is gone. Okay? And you have some situations that are not too serious, but my main target right now is for these serious situations. I'm talking about where it's so serious that if you don't figure out how to get out of it, you're dead. Okay? And the reason I'm speaking on this situation is because it's these situations that need the most attentions, and it is in these situations that every woman should think about bearing arms and really exercising her constitutional right, you know. And I know you got these women out here thinking, well, all I got to do is file a restraining order. It goes a little deeper than that. The restraining order doesn't prevent someone from popping up out of nowhere. Okay? The restraining order is a line that anybody can cross at any time. And then it's just a matter of how long it's going to take the police to get there. And by the time the police get there, the deed has already been done. Right? So a restraining order, using common sense, women, a restraining order is not going to protect you from violence. What's going to protect you from the violence is that 9mm, that 357, okay? That shotgun that your daddy gave you, right? Those are the things that's going to make sure that a man doesn't put his hands on you. Those are the things that's going to make sure that you live to see another day. And I know it's hard to talk about things like this. I know it's hard to even contemplate things like that, especially if you're someone who's not a fighter. It's even harder, especially if you're someone who doesn't like violence, or you can't even stand the sight of your own blood, let alone someone else's, But what should really motivate you in situations like this is if you have kids, do it for your kids. Do it for their future, How would you feel if they lived without a mother? What do you think would happen to your kids if you wasn't there? So right now, as we speak, there's a lot of women who are in the grave because they didn't make the right choice. And they chose to stay in an abusive relationship that went south. And they didn't take the right actions to get out of it, okay? So what do? You get your license to carry. You make sure that you're legit, okay? Once you get your license to carry, that's what you do. You go to the shooting range. You learn how to shoot. You learn the rules of engagement, okay? You need to know the legal end of this stuff because if you put one in someone for the wrong reasons, they got a prison cell waiting on you. So you have to know the rules of engagement, You have to get familiar with the do's and don'ts. And you have to learn how to do this. Sometimes you just shoot. Sometimes it's just a warning shot. Sometimes if you just aim it, it gets the job done. Sometimes you hit. Sometimes it's shoot to disarm. You might shoot him in the leg or shoot him in the arm. You don't necessarily have to kill the person when you squeeze one off, right? But your your intentions for doing this is to keep yourself safe, keep your family safe, because this is the only alternative. There is no way around it, right? Like I said, if you look up how long it takes for a cop to respond to a domestic call, it's going to take a minute before they get there. That means in the meantime, in between time, you have to figure out how you're going to keep yourself safe. And you have to figure out how you're going to keep your children safe. Like I said before, there's many people that are in the grave because they didn't think about it like this, right? Or because they didn't have the heart to make the right choices. Exercise your Second Amendment right. Okay? The beauty of you being in America is that you have a Second Amendment right. And if anyone should really contemplating on having a firearms or a gun, a woman should be more inclined to carry than a man. That's just the truth, okay? A woman should be more inclined to carry a weapon than a man, all right? Because the way the situation is set up, you know? So I don't have to tell you about the statistics. I don't have to sit here and tell you how many times women are raped in a year, okay? How many times women are victims of vicious assaults within a year's time frame, okay? How many times women are beaten, battered because they're the weaker of the two genders, all right? I'm not pulling no punches. It is what it is, right? Okay, so since you know this, what are you doing to protect yourself and to make sure that you're safe and your family is safe, right? So exercise your right, exercise your Second Amendment right, bear arms, but do it the right way. Know all the legal channels that you need to go through. Set up the play before you move, and things turn out in your favor. Most of the time, whoever the perpetrator is, once they see that you packing and that you're willing to put one in you, that you're willing to put one in them, they'll leave you alone. They'll leave you alone. It's only a few people who ain't afraid of dying. Most people, once you do that, they'll leave you alone. Okay? And then those who are crazy enough to cross that line, even after they know the consequences, you got to give them the business. But even after you give them the business, you should feel cool, collected, and calm because you did everything the right way. Okay? So once you're standing on a righteous foundation, you know you got people that second guess their moves. When you know you're standing on a righteous foundation, right, there is no second guessing your move because you know the move that you made was the right move. It was the only move you could have made in the situation to make sure that you survived it. And that's how you should see it. So, you know, this one was, I shot this one from the hip. I didn't really have no script on this one. It was just something that came to heart. Like I said, you know, I can never speak from a woman's perspective because I'm not a woman. But I can relate because, you know, my mother was in an abusive relationship for many years and I witnessed it. So I know that there's a difference and that you have to be willing to do what you need to do in order to get out of the situation. And, you know, you have these people, they speak about protective custody. Oh, it's okay. All you got to do is just get on protective custody. These are losers, man. These are losers. So you can be on the run for the rest of your life, right? So you can lose everything you got and got going for yourself because you don't want to do what you need to do. These are losers, man. You know, these are losers. You have a Second Amendment right. Like I said, exercise your Second Amendment right. Do everything possible to protect you, your family, and your loved ones. And with that said, hey, man, y'all take it easy.